Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you kind of the middle of the road on a wooden wall telephone. This is a Western Electric. It's a 301A, and it's a fiddleback. And so this was sent in by a company in Texas, and their customer sent it to them, and then they sent it to us. And if you've seen the initial checkout video of this telephone, you're going to kind of see a big change in this. We basically don't get into these complete tear down and restore kind of situations very often because I just don't have the time for it. But as you can see, we're kind of in the middle of the road. Some parts have been cleaned, some parts are still needing to be cleaned, and so it's just, it's just a big, long process. And we're so busy here at the shop that it usually, it's hard to get into these full conversions and reworks of these telephones. But I want to show you the magneto that still needs to be cleaned up a little bit. I'm undecided yet whether I'm just going to try to clean that paint up a little bit. This is what they call the red bars when the magneto was in red like this. And it's a very early model telephone. And then we came up with a spit cup. And we're just in the process of cleaning everything. There's so many little parts, even the lock on the door, and then the keyhole for it, and then all your other parts. We have kind of wanted to show you this. This came off of the crank. It actually has a mud dauber, has made a little nest here. So I thought that was pretty cool. Kind of wanted to show you that. This is just kind of in the middle of the road to show the process of what it takes to have to go through one of these telephones and completely clean everything and paint and just kind of go every direction with these that you can with the cleaning and painting and all that. Now their customer didn't really think that this telephone would ever work again. And I talked to our customer, which is located there, a telephone company in Texas. Here you have just a bunch of pieces and parts. So you can see how much there really is to do with one of these telephones. And with limited amount of time, it's just kind of hard to do a complete conversion. And that's why I don't get involved in that too often. But in this case, I said I would do it. And I don't think their customer ever thought that this telephone would ever work again. So basically what it comes down to is we're going to go ahead, we talked to that company, and we're going to go ahead and make this telephone work for the customer. When they get this telephone back, I want them to understand that there is still companies out there that don't mind going the extra mile for them. And I think they probably thought this telephone would never ever work again. But I think this telephone was a part of their family. It had been handed down or something, and the condition of it when it came in was just really, really bad. And so now what we have is a totally different look to it. We're kind of going to go with a rustic type look. We still have a crack here that we need to repair. We've been working on cracks and body work. We've got some new brass eyelets in on top and bottom, and then we have to get everything back together again. So we basically had to tear this telephone totally down and do a lot of gluing of the door and tried to preserve the schematic a little bit. That's what's left of the schematic. And so it's just basically a total tear down. Kind of gives you a little bit of a look at it. And the neck on this telephone for the transmitter goes right here. So basically what you would have is that'll come out there, and then our bells sit in the front here. I think I have it upside down, but anyway, just kind of a middle of the road to show you basically what it takes to get one of these telephones all tore down, start reconditioning the wood and get it cleaned up. And so we're not sanding anything down. I have different ways that I like to put these back into a usable situation and clean up the wood and get them back into a good look and kind of do them in a rustic fashion. So it's starting to look pretty good, and we are just in the middle of the road with it, but it kind of shows you sometimes these conversions, there's quite a bit to them, and it takes a little bit, so you have to spend time on these and get it all squared away. So kind of shows you a little bit about what's going on. And we're going through our magneto here, and we have to take that apart a little bit more and kind of work on that and get it all straightened out. But we're going to make this telephone work so that when their customer plugs it into the line cord, the bells will ring. They'll also ring when they crank the magneto, and they'll be able to pick the telephone up, the receiver, and answer a call and use it as an extension phone. And I just want them to, be able to use the telephone instead of just looking at it. Because the original idea was that they would just have it fixed up so that it looked pretty decent, and then they would just hang it on the wall. But I want them to be able to actually use this telephone. It's a really cool Western Electric fiddleback, and there's no sense in going to all this extreme to get the telephone, because it was in such bad shape, to get the telephone back into a decent look and kind of a rustic look, and go to all that work without being able to pick the telephone up and use it. So it's just, we like to go that extra mile when we can, and I think they're going to enjoy it when we finish it up. Now, another thing that we have to do is the bells go in the front here, but the panel that goes over the top that would lift up, well, actually they had a screw in it and the whole thing would come off. There was no hinges on it. That was enable you, once you took that plate off, that would enable you to get to the wiring block that's right here. And you could probably see some letters there. And we have all that. We have to put it back on the hardware. But that was missing, so the top was missing, and we have to reproduce a top for it and then get our bells back in and get everything put back together again. But it's just a long process, and it takes a while. So when people are wondering what we're doing at the shop, this is kind of the stuff that we get into. So we stick with it until we can get it finished up. And so everybody gets their own bit of time. So it's just one of those things. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. This is a company out of Texas's telephone, and it was sent in by one of their customers, and then they sent it directly to us. And this is kind of a middle-of-the-road video, just kind of showing what all it takes and what you have to go through to kind of take one of these down and start repairing everything and kind of restoring it. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.